guys.
Hi.
My name's Emma, so I'm looking after the gorillas here today.
wow.
And with James,
Okay.
who's putting the food out on display at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to go inside the building.
Okay.
There's a yellow line painted on the ground. Just make sure you don't cross over that yellow line.
Okay.
And when we first go into the building, our big male's on the right-hand side, so we're going to move straight to the left and just give him a chance to get to know.
Okay.
Okay. I'm so excited. Big fan of gorillas, eh?
I love it.
And we'll head on down to this side first. So we'll just let the big man get to know us. So we'll come all the way down here. All the way down here. So I'll just introduce you to our gorillas first. So we've got 3 females and 1 male. So we've obviously got the little one here.
Little one.
That's Kenzie. She's 2.5 years old. And that's her mum, Kimya, who's the first time mum, and she's doing a fantastic job. She's very, very good at being a good mum. She does hold her ear like that. Unfortunately, that's a little stereotypic behaviour she's picked up from her family at Taronga Zoo. They will hold their ears like this, or 2 ears sometimes.
Okay.
So it's just a bad habit she's got herself into. And luckily she hasn't passed that one on to the little one here. Hey Kenzie, do you want to come? You probably don't want to, you look a bit clingy. So I'll just show you some of the stuff that Kimya can do here.
Oh.
Okay. Good girl, Kimya. Kimya, show. Okay. So they're trained to present all parts of their body.
Okay.
Other hand. That's it, good girl. Mouth.
Oh.
You see their teeth are just like ours. They've got incisors at the front and molars at the back.
Okay.
That's a good girl. What?
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Good girl. Good. Okay.
She's keeping her hand over there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shoulder. So they're all trained so that we can give them a hand injection if they need to. So obviously, gorillas like us, it's a really big deal to have an anaesthetic, so an operation.
Okay.
So in order to train them, we train them so that we can get them to present every part of their body so that we don't have to give them operations every so often. And if we ever do need to, us keepers can give them the needle to make them go to sleep, so it's a lot less stressful for them. Kimya, stomach. So Kimya was trained, no, Kimmy. Okay. Belly.
Oh.
So we could ultrasound her when she was pregnant with the little one, and we could see the progress and how they were going.
Okay.
Good girl. Why is Kenzie hiding? What's wrong, Kenzie?
Oh.
Come on, little one. Come out. It's easier to see over here.
She's a little shy.
Come on, Kimmy. Come up here. Do you want some? You, of course, you want some.
Oh.
Hi. Hi. So this is little Kenzie. She's 2.5.
Okay.
She was born here, actually just above our heads here in this. So, Kimya was awesome at giving birth. We were watching from a TV screen, like cameras next door, in our gorilla nursery. We had a little room that we all waited in. What are you doing already? And we were watching her for about 2 weeks before she gave birth, and then for another week afterwards, just to make sure it all went smoothly. But we didn't have to interfere with her at all. She did everything right from the beginning, and so we're very, very lucky. She's been a great mum. This one's a little troublemaker. She's a typical 2-year-old. She likes to get up to no good. I think she was a bit nervous because the 3 girls came running in together today, and that's not really normal, so we don't know what happened. Maybe he was a bit worked up outside and chased a bit or something, so that's why she was all clingy on her mum.
Okay.
If she does start to spin around a bit, and I think she's starting to warm up a bit, you might notice that she's got a little white spot on her bottom, just sort of, where is it? A little white tuft of fur. If she does spin around, you want to spin around for us? No? You show us it. And basically, anyway, when you do, you'll see it better from the roof as well. But, oh, here we go, she's turning around. See the little white tuft of
Yeah,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
That's basically like a learner's plate for gorillas. So all young gorillas
Okay.
and chimps have that little spot. So once they hit about the 3-year mark, that'll start to fade.
Okay.
And that means that she'll no longer get away with being naughty and things like that, and she'll start to get disciplined like the rest of the girls do. So it's basically like I'm learning still. I'm trying to know what to do and how to behave. And so while she's got that little spot, she gets away with whatever she wants.
Okay.
Don't you, little one? She's sort of just started to make her vocals. So these guys are very social animals, obviously. And unlike the orangs, which are pretty much silent, these guys do make lots of vocals to talk to each other and communicate with each other. And they'll do, so that grumble you heard before, that's a pleasure grumble, that's a happy noise. They'll do little cough threats when they're a bit annoyed with something.
Okay.
And then they'll also sort of do high-pitched noises when they're excited about things. So,
Okay. And if they get angry, what exactly?
so they can roar, they can do like a roar. It's not like a tiger or a lion's roar, but it's a big, deep sound.
Okay,
and
so you
they'll beat their
understand.
chests as well. Yeah, exactly.
And if they're not keeping well, something uncomfortable, that time
They
also-
usually tell us. So these guys are pretty good. The orangutans are the best because they're drama queens. So if they've got a tiny cut on them, they're like, look at this, and they want you to see it. Or if they've got a headache, they'll be holding their heads and flopping around. Whereas these guys, their behaviour will just be a bit flat, and they'll be a bit. They're a bit better at getting things. But also, look, these guys can catch everything we can catch. So colds, flus, gastro, chicken pox, anything we can get, they can get. So yeah, so we've got to be really careful as keepers that we don't come to work sick. Because
Okay.
speaking of sneezing, that was a funny,
get cold and
that
cough.
was a funny sounding sneeze. You've got snot in your nose. So yeah, these guys can get all that sort of stuff. So that nasty flu that went around, all the keepers here got it, and these guys did end up with that, unfortunately. So same as us, they can have some Panadol and things like that to feel better.
Okay.
And they are all trained that they present their ear, and we can check their temperatures. So we can sort of keep on top of them that way as well. Now the old girl here wants us to say hello to her. So
Hi.
come over here. This is Yushka. So Yushka's 46 years old. So she's getting on in the gorilla world. Females can live to around 60, but she's doing very well. She's got typical signs of ageing. She's got a little bit of arthritis in her toes. You can see they're starting to curl over a little bit.
Okay.
She's also got, I'm not going to swear you. Good girl. She's also got this sagging skin around her face, so a bit of wrinkles and things like that. Normal signs of ageing like we have. Don't you, old girl? And she's the mother to, she's had 2 babies herself in her lifetime. One was Missouri, who was a famous gorilla born here in 1984 because he was the first gorilla born by artificial insemination. So yeah, so she was the first gorilla in the world to have that procedure, and then she obviously sort of.
all procedures done itself here itself?
It was all done here, the artificial insemination for her, but Kimya conceived naturally. Atana knew what he was doing. So Yushka, back so it was 34 years ago, she and living with just one male, so it was quite an unnatural situation. It wasn't like gorillas normally live in groups. So she was just living, it was just her and a male, and they'd been living together since they were 2. So they really didn't understand the whole mating and breeding thing. So that's why we decided to try it, and so we had some doctors who approached us and said they'd be willing to give it a go. So they did try it and it did work. So her second child was born naturally. We had a different male in by that stage, and he knew what to do, didn't he, Yushi? Yushka. So technically she hasn't gone through a menopause or anything yet, but so we could breed from her if we want to, but just due to her age and everything like that, we don't want to. So she just has the oral contraceptive pill like people have. So we just give her that every morning in a little sultana or a prune, and she eats it down, and that's how we can keep her from having babies. Yushka, hands? So you can see their hands are just like ours.
Yes.
You saw Kimya had different colours, like, a bit of pink skin, so they're like us, they can be different pigments as well.
Yeah.
In their skin. It's a good one, isn't it? Hey? You're a funny old thing. Yushka, stand. Come on, stand. So you can see the females, you've got to keep standing. The females aren't very tall, but they do weigh between sort of 80 and 90 kilos. So They're quite large in size, and their arms obviously are super long, so it makes them look a lot bigger than they actually are.
Okay.
The boys are the bigger ones. So this man here is quite a small male.
Okay.
He's about 5'2", 5'3".
Okay.
But they can get up to 6 foot and weigh up to 250 kilos, so they can get quite big, can't they? Hey, you said you've met a big one, the one that you used to live with. He was big, wasn't he? There you go, Yoshi. Okay, now Oddie wants to see us, I think, so we'll come over and say hello to Tana. So Tana here, it's okay. So Oddie here weighs about 100. Oh, yes, okay.
Hi.
We know. Oddie weighs about 176 kilos at the moment. He's fully grown.
Okay.
He will sort of fill out a tiny bit more through the head there. So the males have that big extra bit on the top of their head called a sagittal crest. That'll get a little bit bigger.
Okay.
He might fill out through here a bit more too, but he's pretty much fully grown. When he came here, he came from the UK, from Howlett Zoo.
Okay.
He was quite little then, and he hadn't started to silver up. So that silver in colour will be sort of prominent by the time they're about 12. So all male gorillas will silver up in their lifetime. Here you go. You're a funny boy. So he's only 16. He's young for a silverback, for a group.
Oh, is he?
Oh yes, he's a show-off. You're a show-off.
Okay.
And so here, males can sort of, yes, I know you want more, don't you? Males usually take on a group by the time they're about 16, so we sort of threw him in a bit younger. So that's why we've only got a small amount of gorillas, just to get him used to being the boss and what he needs to do. Hey? Do you like that one? Is that a good one? Okay, Oddie, let's sort of show you how big you are. Oddie, stand. Oddie, stand. What's that? Candy? Oh, yeah, so that's a good noise. That's a happy noise. But you can see he's not much shorter than me, about the same height as me, so about 5'3". And your buddy? He really checks out everything. Did you notice his eyes moving around then? So you heard a slight movement over there, so he really looks at when he's looking at us, he's really looking at us. What? What, mister? Buddy, shoulder? No, I can't reach your shoulder there, buddy. Oh. This one there. Oh, wow. Okay, good boy. So males would normally sort of live to mid-40s, maybe 50 if they're lucky. The biggest threat for male gorillas is the biggest killer of them, I guess, in the is heart disease and stroke.
Okay.
Okay, good man. So that's why I was getting him to let me touch his chest there. So we're actually at the moment training him for ultrasound of his heart and to allow us to attach ECG monitors. So that way we can look at his heart and see how it changes over the years, and if we need to put him on preventative medicine, we can do that. So that he doesn't develop any sort of heart disease or anything like that. So, Oddie, foot. Come on, being very good, aren't you? Okay. Foot. So you can see his big feet. Their feet are like ours. They're quite elongated, and they've got a big toe, which is more like a thumb, though, I guess. Isn't it, bud? Yeah. I'm going to show us your mouth. Now, so you can see the difference with his teeth.
Yes.
Is he's got the canines, the big canines as well. So that would aid, obviously, in fighting and things like that, and helping him defend his territory. Okay. So his job in the wild would be to have his big group of girls and young males up to about the age of 8 would be in his group too, and he'd breed with all the females. And then he'd just protect them and, lead the way when travelling around the forest, travelling around trying to find their food. So his role is the protector, and that's why they're a lot bigger than the females.
Okay.
Aren't they? That's probably why there's a lot more stress on their heart.
More, like they are more aggressive than females?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I guess so. If you say gorillas by nature aren't aggressive animals, they're quite, nice, sort of got a really nice nature, but they can be, aggressive if they're under threat. So if someone gets too close to his girls or tries to touch his baby or anything like that, he could get really angry with them, couldn't you? So that's why with him, it was really funny. The wind. Have you been around to our gorilla exhibit? Yeah. So we've had to block our window off because as soon as Well, it was funny. It was the day that we actually found out Kimya was pregnant. He decided he didn't want anyone near his group. So anyone who went up to the windows, he'd charge at the windows and bang on them. So we knew that he was uncomfortable. So we put that barrier up just so he feels more comfortable in his space and he doesn't feel like anyone's going to get to his group.
So now you understand.
Exactly.
Behave like you
Just like us. I know I'm the same with my children. I don't want everyone running up to my kids and things like that. So, he's just he's a good protector, aren't you, buddy? But as I said, he is still young, so he's still learning the role. And that's where Yushka's been really helpful, because Yushka's been there and done that, and she's met 3 different silverbacks in her lifetime, and she just knows how to act. And she's quite a funny girl. If she sees, there's something, so Oddie he decides where he sits and what he eats. And,
okay,
we'll walk away from you because you're going to make me keep giving you.
And they sleep for how many?
They sleep like us, so they sort of get up when the sun gets up.
Okay.
And go to bed around just after dark. So we'll go down and watch the kid again. She's more exciting to watch than him. Where are you, kiddo? Oh, yes. So that's all talking to each other. That's a pleasure grumble, and that's sort of just a communication thing. Come down, kiddo. You come play. Come on. You show us what you can do.
Why should sit it like this?
Yeah, so that's her. She's got a bad habit of holding her ears. So she was born at Taronga Zoo, and her grandma and her aunties and her mum, they all do this.
Oh.
And so she's watched them do it, and so now she started doing it.
So now she will also?
Well, hopefully not. Hopefully, because none of our other gorillas do it.
Okay.
It's not very common, so she hasn't started, which is really good. So we don't want them to do it. It's probably started as, like some people bite their nails and something. Yeah, so I think that's just her little habit. So, hopefully, some days it's worse than others, and some days she'll only hold one, and some days none at all. Come down here, Kenzie. Come on, come swing down here so everyone can see how cute you are. Oh, Mum wants the food. Of course you do, Mum. Oh, did Mum get it? There you go, Mum.
Okay, she wants to.
Hey, she can be quite playful too. She's quite funny. Some days she'll just chase Kenzie around the dens. Oh yes, excited. She's very cute. So the way we have this set up here is that we only separate them for food, for breakfast, lunch and dinner.
Okay.
And then the rest of the time they can go wherever they want. They can be outside together, they can be inside together. We open up all these doors, and they have the choice at night time too if they want to sleep outside or inside. They usually come in though, so they'll come in for dinner, and then we'll open everything up, and then they can choose where they go. So
whether they want to sleep anywhere.
They want to sleep inside, they can. If they want to sleep outside, they can. So yeah, we give them the choice and let them sort of be together. So we only separate them. Obviously, they've all got very different nutritional requirements. So the big fella down the end needs a lot more food than the old girl Yushka, who's a little less active. And Kimya, who's still breastfeeding sometimes, she still needs some different, different food as well, or a little bit more food. So.
And what about the rains? They like the water and this?
Do they like the rain? Not really. No, they hate them. Particularly Oddie hates the rain. So if it's raining and he just wants to come inside, so what he'll do is he'll grab the wood wool and put it on his head and run around like that, so it's like an umbrella, because he doesn't like getting his hair wet. So. They're very funny like that. They don't like getting wet. They don't like really windy days either. So a bit like people, we don't really like wind and rain, do we? So these guys are very similar. Kid, you come down before I let you guys go up on the roof and watch them? Oh yes, you heard that, didn't you? So what we've put outside, James, when I first met you guys, James was outside putting out 10 kilos of green vegetables, so lettuce and things like that.
Yeah.
And it's so exciting. And some special pellets that are designed for these guys. They're called leaf-eating pellets, so they give them lots of nutrition that they'd normally get from eating a lot of bark and leaves in the wild. So, are you a bit excited, little one? You do training too, don't you? You're quite good now. So we've started her with her formal training too, just so we can check her out. So obviously it makes it a lot easier. We can even starting to do with this one, that's what the big white tube is there. We can start to take blood from her and do blood tests and things like that.
Okay.
So just to make sure things are going well in their bodies. And hopefully we'll train them all to do that as well.
Okay.
But they're very, very smart. It's a lot easier than training a dog or anything like that.
Oh,
These
my.
guys pick it all up very, very fast. They're just,
Yeah.
they're super smart animals. Aren't you?
Should we get up on the...
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions before I let you go up on the roof to watch them go out?
No, thank
No?
you so much.
That's all right. No worries. I hope you enjoyed it. They're
Yes,
pretty
but-
special animals.
I know.
All right. So we'll come out here and we'll
Yeah.
let you go up on the roof.
Thank you.
No worries. Oh, good.
Thank you so
No
much.
worries. Nice to meet you.
It was a really amazing experience.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
You go that way with
Yeah. Thank you.
That's all right. See you later.
See you, thank you.
There we go. And yeah, save it for later.
Alright, oh sorry, just stay up there and then have a look over here.
Okay.
They're going to come out from just there where we were in the dens. And they'll probably let Yushka out first because she's a bit slower so that she can get some to the food first. And they usually let Otana out last because he's quite fast. So you take my spot because you... And I'll just be right with you.
Hi. Hi. Oh, so sweet. So sweet.
Yeah. She's recognizable by her bigger belly.
Oh, he's so cute.
She's great. That's Candy.
Oh.
Her mum here. Kimya.
Okay.
And then big boy's on his way. He's checking you out.
Yeah. They recognize?
Yeah, yep. You smell that? That's him. He's testosterone. I'm the boss. It's me.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Of course. Enjoy the rest of your holiday.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Sorry, can you see? You didn't get down to me. You didn't keep watching. You right? Oh, it's coming out. Oh, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes.
Here it comes, here it comes, here it comes.
Isn't he or she beautiful?
These are April strawberries.
I don't know. Can you stand over here? Oh, sorry.
No, you can see from here.
Oh, wow.
You can see from here.
Look at the big one behind us, though. Can you see the big one eating?
Yeah, I can.
You can? Yeah. He's amazing.
You can see from there.
Here it
See
comes.
the big one.
Silverback.
See the big one.
What a silverback. Wow, he's amazing. Oh, he's a baby. He's a big one.
Look,
He's a big one. Fantastic.
they always have clothes.
Hey, do you want to be like you?
They are monkeys.
They're big monkeys, aren't they? Say bye. Say bye.
Oh, he's magnificent.
What, sir?
I can see the baby. See here. So cute.
So if you've got a separate yeah, you know, I've got to actually spend more time on that booklet. Yes.
It's a lot. It's like reading it through, that's a lot of
Yeah. Oh, there's the baby. Look. Look.
Okay, guys. Sweetie, get your photo. It's time to go. We need to move on. Okay, lots more things to see. He's a big boy, isn't he? Okay, come on. Get your photo. It's time to go. Right, let's go. One more photo.
baby.
Isaac, come on. I know he's a big boy.
Greg, sweet.
I know what
Look at that baby one.
it's on this side. It's the car. What colour is it?
He's grey.
It's grey. What's he eating?
That's what that little one has.
You can have cats with the tonight.
Just down at the man's feet there. Just turn around. Look at the big one just there. You see him in the corner? You see that big one just eating there? He's huge. He's bigger than you.
Oh, he's right here.